Spain's right-wing opposition leader, Alberto Nunez Feijooi, has lost a second vote in his attempt to become Prime Minister. This opens the way now for the outgoing Socialist Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, to try and win support for his own bid. Let's talk to our correspondent, Ken Browne, in Madrid. Ken, the Conservatives seemingly cannot form a government and administration, so walk us through what happens next.
Yes, correct, Jamie. So today, all Feijóo needed was a simple majority, more yeses than nos, and that vote failed just as Wednesday's vote failed. He lost by 172 to 177 votes. One Catalan politician getting his yes and no confused, and his no was then annulled. Easily done when you're under pressure. The thing about this attempt to form a government is that Feijóo knew, we knew, absolutely everybody knew that it was going to fail. What it really was a chance for him to solidify his leadership of the party and leader of the opposition, should Pedro Sanchez manage to form a government. Sanchez, the only leader with a realistic chance of forming a government now. Feijóo said that he could have done so if he had sacrificed his and his party's principles and negotiated with the Catalan Junts party, who hold the votes necessary to get one or other party into power. But the reality is that that would never happen, because the PP hitched their wagon to the far-right party Vox, and when Vox disappointed during the election, they went from around 52 seats to 33. Suddenly the right-wing bloc did not have a majority to govern. Now what's going to happen next is that Pedro Sanchez has 2 months to speak to all of the parties involved to try and get these negotiations and pacts firmed up. He will go and speak to the king and project his project he will explain his project for government to the king, and then we'll come back to the Congress for another vote. That, some say, could happen in October. If he does not garner the support, then we could be going towards new elections early next year, Jamie.
I mean, it's worth saying that should Sanchez succeed in creating a coalition, he's going to have to compromise on some pretty controversial and rather divisive issues.
Yes, absolutely. The price of a new mandate for Pedro Sanchez and a broad leftist coalition would be minimum an amnesty for Catalan politicians. The most prominent amongst them, Carles Puigdemont, who's been in exile since 2017, since that illegal Catalan independence vote. Now, amnesty would allow Puigdemont and the other leaders to return to Spain, where they would not have to face trial for sedition and other faults. Now, that amnesty may not be enough. They might actually push for more. We're hearing now that some of the hardline Catalan politicians want a legal referendum. We've already seen red lines drawn by Pedro Sanchez and the leader of the further left Sumar platform, Yolanda Díaz, say that anything that is outside the Constitution is off the table, and a referendum is extra-constitutional. So still a lot of doubt on whether we're going to form a government 67 days now since the elections on the 23rd of July. Now, if we do have new elections in January 2024, that would be Spain's 6th general elections in 9 years.
Ken, thank you for that. Our correspondent Ken Browne in Madrid.